Hello, and thank you for stopping in my studio in Shelbyville, Michigan. TinyPandora.com and Teresa Salgado have invited me to share a tutorial with you today as part of the 2019 Studio Critique Be Seen, Be Known design team. So let's shape some clay and make some magic. Today we're going to be making dragon eye pendants. This is a couple of the same colors, and I've done a version in purple before too. So let's show you the process. We'll be using TinyPandora.com's Color Me Elephant kit. Specifically, we'll be using the silkscreen and one of the bales. We'll be using 3 colors of Primo. We'll be using Wisteria, Graphite Pearl, and Pearl. I'll be using a mica powder. I'm going to specifically, for this sample today, I'm going to use Tide Pool from Christy Friesen. I also used the Tortuga and the purple version. We'll be using a glass Cabicon. I'm using a bead landing brand. You can use a variety of different brands. And some basic clay tools, including the small ball tool from Sculpey, the needle tool from Sculpey, a brush to apply mica powder, a clay blade. We'll also use water to wash off our silkscreen, and you may choose to use a deli paper or a parchment paper at one of the steps. We start out by opening our package of Pearl Primo, breaking it in half on the score line, set one half aside. You'll use both. Condition the first half. I use my Atlas 180. I rolled this out to a number 4, which is the 5th thinnest setting. Temporarily, use my clay blade to do that. Set that up there. So my painted sheet, painted with the Color Me Elephant silkscreen. That's when you can take and start cutting out scales. So you're going to make just basically pointed ovals again. Make a bunch of different sizes. Alright, I cut a bunch more of those. I paused the video and cut a bunch more of those so you didn't have to watch me just cut them. I can pull back my background clay off so I can get access to those scales a lot easier. The background clay, because it's been painted, makes a great scrap that you can use in other projects. So move this back so you can see it better. Alright, you start taking the scales and applying them to your background, knowing that you're going to overlap, creating more interest and more depth. I generally recommend filling in from the back side and working toward the front so you can use some of the smaller scales toward the front. And you may end up as many as three or 4 layers on here, depending on how thick you want the whole piece to be, and what effect you like and what look you like. So I'm going to keep applying that first layer, pause the video, and then come back and show you the second layer. I wanted to show you around the bale. Make sure you don't impact and put clay in this area so that you cover up your bale. You need to be able to have that bale accessible to whatever hanging material you use. Alright, I've got the first layer on there. I'm going to take some of the smaller scales and apply them, covering up any white in the background. Adding another layer, making sure I push them down. I am turning the ends up a little bit on some of the pieces because I like the three-dimensionality that provides by turning them up and making sure they're up when they go to cook. Turn that one because it's got a little more white, and I'm going to probably put another piece over top of it that's got a little more color to it. Apply as many scales as you want to apply to make this uniquely your piece. Just remember, the more you add, the more weight it adds to. That's the maze I'm going to add. Next, I'm going to take the surface effects. Open that up carefully and apply a little bit to some of the ends of some of the scales. This just provides a little more bling, a little more definition between each scale. I'm not going to apply it on each of them, but I'm going to apply it on most of them. And usually I finish up the sculpt by running a little bit of mica powder along the eye ridge. Now I'll use a clay blade to lift that from the surface and transfer it to my baking pan. This is Primo, so I'll bake it for 275 for 45 minutes to an hour. When it's finished, you'll end up with a pendant like this. It's got a little bit of mica powder on the back, but pretty straightforward project. So again, thank you for stopping at the studio. Please feel free to contact me via tinypandora.com if you have any questions or comments. And please also make sure you check out future videos from the Studio Critique 2019 Be Seen, Be Known design team. Thank you.